Today we're going to learn about symbolism, and this is just going to be a really short lesson. Most of you probably know what symbols are. For instance, the United States flag. We have the 13 colonies represented by the stripes. We have the 50 states represented by the stars, and the colors have symbols as well. Roses represent love, which is why on Valentine's Day you guys tend to give each other roses. So those are all symbols to represent something larger. And so you guys know what they are. You know that they have connotations, but it's a little harder to find them. So symbols are objects, so they're going to be nouns or things that you can see that give way to a bigger idea. And it's different. And it can take different forms. It's deeper and more significant. It could be an event, it could be a word spoken by someone, it could be like smiling as a symbol of friendship. So it doesn't have to be an object. But we have dove as a symbol of peace, black is a symbol that tends to represent evil or death, because that's what people wore when someone died, they wore black. A ladder can stand as a symbol for a connection between heaven and earth. A broken mirror may symbolize separation. And there's different symbols in different cultures too. So this is where cultural awareness comes into being, and where your background and your information and your prior knowledge really take shape, because you might not know what some symbols mean. Like tree of life, that's a symbol of, the stages of life. That's another one that's really big. So there's lots of symbols out there, and it is important to know what they mean. These are some examples. So the hard part about symbols is actually finding them in texts. And so these questions are designed to help you find symbols in Persepolis, but really you can do this in other texts and in other areas of your life. What objects repeat in Persepolis? And you can look at that just by skimming in the pictures and seeing objects that come through the pictures again and again. You can look at the chapter titles. Do they correspond to objects in the text? Or are there certain events that happen again and again that tend to be symbolic? Like there are certain events that symbolize a bigger change. For instance, you guys weren't even alive, which is really weird for me, but for 9/11 changed everything. Yes, it was a real event, but it is also a symbolic shift in United States culture. And you guys don't know anything different. You only know the new culture of the United States after 9/11. But there was a shift, and it might be something interesting to talk to your parents or guardians about, or your teachers, or anyone else who is over, 20 years old, 25, they'd probably remember it better. And so events like that can shape things. And so there are events in Persepolis that really mark a distinct social or cultural shift in Iran's actual history. What objects are Marjane and other characters, what are they drawn to? And then what big ideas do these symbols connect to? So you might be able to find certain objects and know, oh yeah, that connects to war, or that makes her sad, or that connects to her identity. So remember, big ideas are things you can't necessarily see, but then you can have an opinion on them. Marriage, war, death, violence, sexuality, identity, coming of age, power. All of those things are considered big ideas. And that is symbolism in a nutshell. Now what I'd like you to do is go to discussions on Canvas and participate there.